Buenos dias, bienvenidos, and good morning. All right, this is going to be Connecting the Dots, Part 2. Número dos. Now, I was originally going to do today's video on another subject, but I still need to do a little bit more research on it before I release it, so I'm not going to be able to do that today. Plus, I just really felt compelled to cover the topic I'm covering this morning. It's just kind of been eating at me and just getting me really pissed off, to be honest. So, today I just want us to use a little common sense and look at this whole situation realistically. All right? Now, in looking what happened to Kiely, there's only two scenarios that are feasible. All right, we're going to be looking at both of them, obviously. All right, scenario number one, numero uno. Kiely was killed Friday night, and her vehicle went into the water on Friday night after the party. All right, so let's break this down a little. Now, if Kiely went into the water on Friday night, then I would have to say that I think Sammy was involved. Either she's the one that killed her or I think was involved in some way, or one of the ones involved. Well, then, if the cam footage is true, there would have been multiple people who saw her go into the water, or at least saw her vehicle go into the water. There's many who have made comments about people surrounding the area where her vehicle supposedly went in. Now, using plain common sense, which isn't so common, obviously, do you really believe that multiple people saw her vehicle go into the water and nobody called 911? I mean, yeah, I know it's the Truckee area, but even there, I find that impossible to believe that nobody called. Someone would have called 911 if they saw her go into the water and sink. Critical thinking skills, people. There's no way I would ever believe that multiple people saw it and never called. Just no way. They wouldn't have to worry about coming forward or getting caught. They could anonymously call 911 and tell them, hey, there was a car went into the water out here. You better get your butt here. All right, now, there were some people who said they saw her vehicle go into the water and called 911. And some other creators have done research on that. And there is absolutely no evidence anyone ever called 911 to report that. None. So that automatically tells me that it never happened and it's a totally fabricated story. Nobody actually ever called. Now, why would someone state something like that? It's totally untrue. Now, I don't see any other reason other than to cover for someone. Whoever it was that stated this didn't think that there was any way we could verify that it occurred or not. Trust me, even in Truckee, if a 911 call had been made, law enforcement would have responded for liability reasons, if nothing else. Because they know if they didn't respond, they could get their butts sued something terrible. All right? You know how everybody loves money in that area. They're not going to take that chance. Then we have this fake-ass cam footage coming out with the same motive, to cover things up and make people think it was an accident. You know, for the life of me, I can't understand how any of you could trust anything that comes from SF Investigates. Nothing. I mean, this dude's been covering up for the family and for whoever did this from the very beginning. Do you actually think he's changed? Do you actually think he's changed his motive and actually wants to tell the truth and help? No. Absolutely not. No way in hell. Plus, Kiely obviously didn't drive into the lake from the cargo area. And the argument that she crawled back there in the back and went to sleep is completely insane. Remember the one picture of her sleeping in the back seat of a vehicle where she's wearing the flannel shirt and scarf And yes, that is a scarf. It's not something they tried to tie her up around with. Oh, amazing how people can see what they want to see. Just unreal. It's a scarf, people. It's a flannel jacket and a scarf. It's not something they wrapped her in and tried to hang her with or something. Some of you people amaze me. The lengths that you go to find a demon under every bush or something. I don't know. Now look, if she was going to take a nap, there's a hell of a lot more room in the back seat than in the cargo area. Much more room. There's absolutely no way she would have crawled into the cargo area to take a nap. Especially as hard as it is to get back there in this type of vehicle anyway. Now, in my opinion, the Friday night scenario is not at all feasible. If you want to believe that based on some footage of lights supposedly going into the water, you know, I am really worried about people's critical thinking skills in today's society. Plus, as I stated, the very fact that this began to be circulated by SF Investigates lets me know the motive behind it. Absolutely. Why didn't this come out 2 months ago? Now, the fact is, here's what's funny. The Truckee area has been watching us, and they saw we were getting close. Last night, even Zanime popped into the comment section saying I wasn't getting to the truth, blah, 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 blah. Well, I asked her some basic questions, the same ones that I asked in yesterday's video, but she avoided them and mentioned something about being on some channel that has no credibility with me at all. But the point I'm making is we're getting closer, folks, and they're watching us like a hawk. Like a hawk. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Especially the ones who aren't buying the cam footage crap. Those we're the ones that they're watching. They're not at all worried about that people believe in the cam footage, because the ones believing that crap have bitten the bait, so they're kind of like out of the picture. So it's no surprise to me that the spin doctors are out in force trying to divert us from the actual truth. And the sad thing is, so many are buying it. Even channels I respected are buying it, which amazes me. And by the way, they've lost all credibility with me, too, if they're that easily duped. By the way, let me say this while I'm thinking of it. If you're going to come in here and troll, if you're going to come in here telling me I'm wrong, then come with some proof. Prove to me I'm wrong. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just stating facts. Look, if I'm wrong, I seriously don't mind you showing me I'm wrong. But come with some proof. Poop. Yeah, come with some poop, too. Yeah, it's probably a bunch of BS. Most people come in here with poop that are trying to, anyway. But come in here with proof. Not just some statement like, you're wrong. Seriously, it just makes you look like an idiot. And don't come in here just rambling on and on, sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even read those posts. I don't have time. I just delete them. I don't want to bother reading a novel-length post of complete nonsense. So, I mean, if you want to discuss it rationally, I'm open. If you just want to come in here and start making personal attacks based on your own bias, you'll be removed, period. I don't put up with trolls, especially those making personal attacks on me or anyone else in the comment section. Makes me think you're covering up for the culprits or involved in some way. Anyway, I just wanted to let people know that we're not going to put up with that crap for an instant. We don't need a bunch of brainless wonders coming in here acting like complete morons. Anyway, all right, let's move on. There's honor in silence. Yeah. RR. Okay. Second scenario. Scenario number 2. Kiely was still alive on Saturday morning after the party on Friday night and was encountered by Nick, the service driver at Boca Reservoir, around 11 a.m. First of all, and this shows how people don't think. People are saying, how do we know it's Kiely's vehicle? Think, people. This was a service call. most likely covered by her vehicle insurance. This is not some freebie service, people. They don't just come out there and, out of the goodness of their heart. They charge for it. So this was a service call. Nick would have had to get her vehicle information and her insurance information. Well, he didn't have access to the video. That is totally irrelevant as far as confirming it was her vehicle. Now, let me ask you, have you ever had to call AAA? If you did they just come out and service your vehicle without asking for any information? It's a freebie. No, of course not. Duh. First of all, if this was AAA, and we don't know if it was or not, but it didn't matter. The same procedures would apply with any service. But I do know with AAA, when you call, the first thing they ask for is your membership number off your AAA card. Then a lot of times, if not most of the time, they'll ask you for your insurance information, including the agency you're insured with, as well as your policy number. I know when I was a cop, I assisted many stranded motorists, many of which had AAA, and so I've heard the procedure many times as they were on the phone talking to them. So, at the very least, they confirm your membership number and or your insurance information before ever sending a service person out to your vehicle. And then secondly, when the service person gets to you, most, if not all the time, they will ask to see your AAA card, or if it was another service, they're going to ask for your card that covers that service. And they'll take your insurance information. They will confirm that it's the vehicle that's covered, and will take down the vehicle information. Sometimes they'll ask to see your identification to make sure you're one of the people covered under the plan. If it's not just, the vehicle, sometimes it's just the vehicle that's covered, but if not, with some of them, they'll check to see, if it's the person that's covered and see if you're under the plan. Also, they will confirm your address for billing purposes. People, all of these things would have been done on this service call. So the very idea that it might not have been Kiely's vehicle at Boca is complete hogwash. Come on, people, think a little. Gee me, Christmas. Secondly, if we're to discount this encounter, what we are saying is that Nick, the service guy, is a liar. We are saying Jared with AWP is a liar, and that Doug is a liar. Sorry, but I respect AWP and what they do too much to ever call them liars. Common sense. They are not about to put their reputation at stake making up some story about something that never happened. Both Jared and Doug stated that Nick and his girlfriend were both credible, stand-up people. They both vouched for them. They would say, well, Nick was there to divert them from Prosser. Oh, you don't think that Jared and Doug would have figured that out? But they vouched for them. In fact, in one live stream, Doug said, if you don't believe that these are credible people and their story is true, you're wrong, 100%. And yet there are many of you who are disparaging them, calling them liars, calling Nick a liar, without one shred of evidence to back it up, other than some stupid supposed cam footage of Kiely's vehicle going into the water. God, I'm amazed how gullible people have been regarding this footage. Sorry, but a brain is meant to be used. We have the ability as humans to think and reason. I mean, that's what separates us from the beasts. Some of you really need to take advantage of that and put your brain to actual use. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but it's just so disgusting to me, and it's just unbelievable to me that people don't think. Anyway, here's the deal. If we were to call Jared and Doug liars, let's take a look at what that entails. We would be saying that AWP is willing to risk their entire reputation and credibility, which, if proven they were lying, would completely be damaged, and I think would greatly affect their subscribership and the money coming into them. Also, ask yourself, what would their motivation be? What would their motivation be to lie? and completely make up the story about Kiely being seen at Boca the next day. There's no motive that makes sense, people. There's some people saying, "Oh, they're just doing it for, doing it for clicks." Sorry, that's just stupid. Plain stupid. You don't think they get enough clicks as it is? Take a look at this. 2.75 million subscribers. Yeah, they obviously get enough clicks without having to make up some crazy story about Nick encountering Kiely's vehicle that day. Look, if you think that they're making this up just for sensationalism to generate more clicks, you're a complete idiot. Plain and simple. There's just no other way to describe you. So, let me ask you. Which scenario do you think is more feasible? The word of men the majority of us highly respect and who would have no motive to make up such a story, or some fake-ass video put out by someone we know has been trying to cover things up from the very beginning and flies in the face of all the other evidence. Gee, let me think on that for a minute. Come on, even if you have only half a brain, the answer should be blatantly obvious. You know, one thing this past week has proven to me is that there are still a lot of people who believe in fairy tales. In fact, here's what I believe. I believe that Tinkerbell was at the party that Friday night. She picked up Kiely's car and carried it into the air and dropped it in the water. That would explain why no tire tracks were found going down to the lake. We figured it out. But honestly, that makes about as much sense as the cam footage showing Kiely's vehicle going into the water with all these witnesses around seeing it and nobody calling 911. Like Ron White says, you can't fix stupid. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. I'll be coming out with another video, hopefully tomorrow, that shows that there are several people who are really hurting financially who would have a great motivation to assist in this and cover it up. And I believe there are people being paid off to do just that. So stay tuned for that one. Take care, all.